Hi, I'm Teresa Clancy. You can call me Terry. I am a wills and estate planning attorney. And if you are married and own a home with your spouse, this video is for you. So many of us believe that if we purchase a house with our spouse or a home with our spouse, or any real estate for that matter, and we decorate it, maintain it, that home would be ours, and if something were to happen to our spouse, we would just inherit that home from our spouse. Makes sense, right? And usually that is the case, but not always. You see, there can be a scenario where if your spouse were to pass away, you would inherit part of what your spouse owns, 50%, giving you 75% ownership in that home. But the other 25% that your spouse owned, that 25% would be inherited by your spouse's children. And the children, that would include the children you have with your spouse, but it also would include the children that your spouse has had in prior relationships, which means that you could be in a scenario where you own part of your home and children, either that you've had or your spouse has had, owns the other part of the home, or 25% of it. So that is a scenario none of us think we would ever be in, particularly when we were the ones that purchased the home with our spouse. So how do you avoid that scenario where you wind up somehow owning your own home with your spouse's children? Well, take a look at your deed. The deed that you got at the closing when you closed your house, pull it out and look for these words. 2 different sets of words, either way, will keep you from ever having that scenario happen to you. And those 2 sets of words are either joint tenancy or tenancy by the entirety. And if either sets of those words are on your deed, you don't have to worry. You will automatically, by law, inherit your property from your spouse. Inherit your spouse's share of that property. But if those words are not on your deed, and I see this oftentimes, especially when people sell their homes on their own without a real estate lawyer, that scenario could put you into a spot where you're owning your home with your spouse's children. And it doesn't matter that you have yourself identified as married on the deed or wife and husband on the deed. It has to say the words either joint tenancy or tenancy by the entirety. And that creates a scenario where you automatically inherit the property from your spouse and vice versa. So I hope this tip was helpful. And I also hope that you are owning a deed that has those words, because then you don't have to do anything. But if those words aren't on your deed, you should be calling a real estate attorney or especially an estate planning attorney. And if you want to do more estate planning, contact me. I can help you get everything set up correctly. And if not, look for the next video, and perhaps that one will find it to be helpful, and that will motivate you to do some more estate planning. Until the next time, see ya.